Hello YouTube, it's me again, and today I'm going to be doing a political video, and this video is about the moment that Republicans took control of the Senate. So 2 days ago was Election Day, and as you may or may not know, Republicans won the Senate. They netted 7 seats in West Virginia, South Dakota, Montana, Iowa, Colorado, Arkansas, and North Carolina. Now, depending on which network, it varies on the network, but Republicans on it depends on which network you were watching for what the magic 6th seat for the Republicans was. On Fox News, it was Iowa. I was watching Fox News, and I know that on CNN, it was North Carolina. North Carolina ends up being called a little bit, like maybe 5 minutes later in this. But I'm gonna show you guys the moment that Republicans won. This is about a couple minutes before Republicans won control. They were at 5, so meaning that if for whatever reason that Republicans weren't gonna pick up those 2 seats, then it was gonna be a tie. However, there's still 2 Senate races that are still too close to call. In Alaska, honestly, that should have been called for Republicans, but they're still holding off on something. And Virginia, it's still too close to call. Mark Warner is barely ahead of Ed Gillespie, and what really was a surprise race. Also, my governor's state, my home state of Maryland, Larry Hogan pulled off quite the upset. So I met the governor of Maryland before he was governor. I'm special. Anyways, enough of me blabbering. Here you go.
And then she outed me. And after a while, I kind of thought, well, this is sort of fun. So I changed it to my real name, and I've been on there ever since. I've used it a long time for all kinds of things.
Okay, so let's just go down the row and talk about this night, talk about what it means and the implications going forward.
Well, it looks now as if there's so many ways now with one more race for the Republicans to take up the Senate. And that changes, obviously, everything in Washington in the sense that all the things that the House of Representatives has been doing that nobody knows about will now have a chance to have life in the Senate. The Senate has been the place where the House of Representatives' legislative activity goes to die. And that's been true for some time because of the way Harry Reid has run the place. And it raises an interesting question about his strategy. His strategy was to protect his majority in the Senate by protecting his members from taking tough votes on measures that might have some popular appeal that came over from the House of Representatives. So this place was in lockdown. This changes that, and it also calls his strategy of doing this into question because a number of these people obviously have lost. So that's key there. I would say that some of these other results that we've seen suggest something as we've talked about. The Virginia governor's race, it looks like Ed Gillespie's been overtaken.
Senate race.
Senate race, excuse me. But
he's got stand by. We haven't called him in.
Oh, good.
And it is in the all-important Iowa Senate race. Fox News can now project that Republican Joni Ernst will beat Democrat Bruce Braley, thereby giving Republicans control of the United States Senate and dealing a major blow to President Obama's agenda in the final 2 years of his term. Ernst's victory gives Republicans a net pickup now of 6 seats. That's the magic number they needed to guarantee a takeover of the U.S. Senate.
That's huge. Remember, there are still 4 Senate seats to be decided, but all of them are already Democratic. So the GOP's net gain can still increase, but it can't decrease. So they made it to that +6 number. The states yet to be decided: Virginia, that wasn't supposed to be close, North Carolina, Alaska, which probably will take a long time, and Louisiana. Remember, the Louisiana race won't be decided until next month in that recount, or that runoff, rather, December 6th. Alaska, polls close at 1 a.m. Eastern. It could take a long, long time before we get all of that in. But the biggest news right now, Republicans will control the U.S. Senate for the last 2 years of President Obama's term. We're back with the panel. George, what does this mean in the big picture? First.
Okay, and so this was around 11:21, 22, I'd say. And now we're going to skip ahead a couple minutes to when North Carolina won. North Carolina was called for all. This is around Joni Ernst's victory speech. Well, more or less, really.
Didn't work.
We're going to interrupt you, panel. Fox News Decision Desk has another major call to make. In North Carolina, Fox News can now project that Tom Tillis, a Republican member of the state legislature, will oust U.S. Senator Kay Hagan. a first-term Democrat in a closely fought race that saw spending topping $100 million in this race. This is a huge victory for Republicans because it means they now have a net gain of 7 seats in the Senate, one more than they needed to take over control of the U.S. Senate.